number 14. The linesmen are Neil Armstrong, number 8 on his left. And on the right, of course, is Bob Hodges, number 32. There's Michel Plass with a 3.63 goals against average, playing for the Colorado Rockies. And out the other end of the rink, Wayne Thomas goes against .416.
Last night, but they have a tremendous record on home ice. A lot of young fans in attendance tonight.
Brian, they had a lot of chances last night in Washington. They just couldn't put the puck in the net. Red Kelly was telling me on the way back that he's a little bit concerned about Darryl Sittler. He hasn't scored in quite a few games, and he had many chances again last night in Washington. However, this is a very improved hockey team, too, the Colorado Rockies, and Paul Gardner has gone to center ice. Number 21, number 9 is Wilfie Paymo, and Barry Dean, number 22, plays on the left side. Back at the blue line is Barry Dean, along with number 3, Tom Edger. Leads have Sittler, Inga Hammerstrom, and Lanny McDonald with Borja Salming and Ian Turnbull. Here's back to Lanny McDonald, a shot, a nice save by Michel Plass. And we'll have a face-off in the Colorado Rockies territory to the left.
Talking to Johnny Wilson just before tonight's game, he's very pleased with the progress this young team is making. He said they played a tremendous first period against Montreal the other night. He looked out and he said, is that really my team out there playing that well? And then, of course, Montreal got going.
Lanny McDonald, Borja Salming a shot. That was deflected over here onto this right wing. Paymo getting it up to Gardner. Gardner's pass goes wide of the lead net, and you see Wayne Thomas shooting it out of the boards. Paymo covered by Hammerstrom. A long shot, and that one does seem to hit him. Wayne Thomas. The puck comes out for Gardner again, number 21, and Darryl Sittler. Up to Borja Salming. Salming over the line with Hammerstrom into the corner. Back of the net. Got it back to Lanny McDonald. Here's his shot right on. Glass caught that and held on to it.
Couple of good chances at both ends already. That one stung Plass, wearing the Russian-style face protector and mask. Earlier, that shot that got by Thomas, Bill, I thought it grazed the goalpost. Number 3 is Tom Edger from Toronto, coming over from Cleveland of the WHA. One of many good young prospects in that Colorado club.
Ron Andrup, number 14, out there at center now with St. Shanahan, number 8, and Guy Delparte playing on the right side. And the puck goes over the blue line as Bob Neely took his man out, and it goes to Jim McKenney. McKenney into Don Ashby, number 9. Ashby is covered. Pucked up there by Andrup. A shot. That's wide of the leaf net, and McKenney has it. Jim McKenney for Scott Garland. And he was bumped by number 4, Steve Durbano, and there's going to be a charging penalty to Durbano.
Now, just in the upper left of your picture, there's Durbano, caught for charging at 121. He's the penalty leader on the Rockies, and under that helmet, a bald head. He's shaved himself for some reason.
Dennis Duperry, number 15, playing out there on the forward line, along with Wilf Paymo to kill off this penalty. Number 24 is Jim McElmurray, playing on the defense with number 5, Tracy Platt. Puck in the Colorado Rocky territory. Ian Turnbull keeps it in by shooting it back of the net. Tracy Pratt wrapped it around to the boards. Borja Salming couldn't keep it in, has to go back for it. Inside his own blue line, released with the outbound advantage, playing 6 men to 5 to Darryl Sittler. No score, first period, as Darryl Sittler comes to the line, flipped it over into the corner. Dennis Duperry gets the puck, holding it, lost it to Sittler. Sittler centered it, and it was driven down the ice by McElmurray. Back for Borja Salming. 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining in the penalty, as it's brought up by Borja Salming. Salming, number 21. Long pass, Lanny McDonald getting it on goal. Takes a shot, and he shot wide. Puck went all the way down the ice, as Lanny McDonald got it awfully close. Borja Salming to Inga Hammerstrom. Hammerstrom with 46 seconds remaining in the penalty. To Lanny McDonald, to Darryl Sittler. Sittler closing in. Passed it back, and a was intercepted by Duperry, and Duperry shot that into the crowd, and we'll have a face-off in the Rockies territory to the left.
Good penalty killing by the Rockies. And Bill, we're going to give you an easy evening of it. Foster Hewitt has agreed to join us for the play-by-play of the second period. So we'll look forward to that. Foster coming over to television side for the second period of action tonight. I know you don't mind at all.
No. Number 11 is Dave Hudson. Number 26 is Mike Kitchen. Valaket with Williams and Boutet. Pat Boutet missed the puck. Dennis Duperry brings it up to center ice. Takes a long shot that bounces wide of the net. And it goes into the corner to Dave Williams. Back to Ian Turnbull. Turnbull up to Williams too far. Driven right back in again by Tom Edger. And it's Claire Alexander. Alexander with 9 seconds remaining in the penalty. Over to Ian Turnbull up at center. Got it over for Valaket. Alexander with a shot. Fired it wide. Williams gets a drive. That's wide. The puck stopped by Alexander. He shot it in offside inside the Rockies blue line. Facing off in the lead zone to the right.
We have a delay at the far end, Bill. The linesman Neil Armstrong going down to replace the goal stick for Michel Place. One of the good young defensemen for the Colorado Rockies is Mike Kitchen, the former Toronto Marlboro.
Well, we're all set to go now as we have the puck in Ray Thomas's stick. He flipped it up for Williams. Williams back passed it out to center ice. Cleared back to Ryan Glennie. He shoots the puck in. Number 26, Mike Kitchen back there for it. To Tom Edger, intercepted by Valaket. Valaket right in front of the net. Williams. And he's checked by number 11, Dave Hudson. Now then, Boutet right in front of Valaket. And he fanned on his shot. Back up the ice for the Rockies. They clear it in, and Jim McKinney gets it and flips it out to Pat Boutet. Pat Boutet, Valaket, and Williams. Over the line to Valaket. Valaket back to Boutet. Over to Glennie. Ryan Glennie. He shot it to Valaket. Valaket to Boutet. Boutet right in front of the net, and it was steered off by Gary Crowdo. And the puck goes into the crowd, and we'll have a face-off.
Crowdo having a good year for the Colorado Rockies. Folks now live here in Toronto. Detroit leading Atlanta, goal by Terry Harper. You know, speaking of nostalgia night, Bobby Orr, when he was just 15, appeared on Hockey Night in Canada, was interviewed by Ward Cornell, and when asked about his favorite defenseman, he mentioned Tim Horton for one and Terry Harper for the other.
Puck went wide of the Colorado net, comes back to center ice. Ian Turnbull clearing it over to Scott Garland. Scott Garland's pass for Bob Neely is intercepted and brought back by John Van Buckmere, and that was knocked off to the side. Garland gets it out to Ashby. Ashby coming at center. Ashby shoots the puck in. Goes back of the net. Leaving it there for Steve Dervano, number 4. Dervano gets it over to Van Boxmeer up at center ice for Nelson Pyatt. Pyatt was checked and is brought back by Garland. Garland just shot it right to Dervano. Dervano gets it over to Van Boxmeer. A long shot. Wayne Thomas clubbed that easily. Shot into the corner. Comes back to the blue line. Van Boxmeer's shot was just wide. Dervano keeps the puck in. It goes behind the lead net. Thomas out of the goal. The puck goes to the corner. Comes up to Bob Neely. Bob Neely flips it out to Scott Garland. Garland is covered by number 15, Dennis Duperry, who veered it back of the net. Ashby's after Dennis Duperry. Falls on the puck. Play is called, and we'll have a face-off. This is Hockey Night. At center ice now, Ron Andrup, number 14, St. Shanahan, number 8, and Guy Del Parte, number 7. For the Rockies, Lanny McDonald, quick drive, and that was stopped by Plas. Brought up by Tracy Pratt to center ice. Pratt just shoots the puck in, wide of the net, and out of the net comes Wayne Thomas and covers up with Ron Andruff right there.
Bill, here's the first of some old photos we have to show you tonight. This goes back 10 or 12 years. Bing Crosby. He interviewed him when he was on a visit to town. He's still going strong now in Manhattan, but he was talking about the Cooks and the Bouchers. Now he used to watch them perform.
Comes back to the blue line. Tracy Pratt's shot was wide. Jim McKenney cleared it back to him. Tracy Pratt keeps it in. Andruff being watched by McKenney. McKenney finally takes it away to Randy McDonald up to Darryl Sittler. Tracy Pratt knocked it off his stick. Lanny McDonald went in after it, but a shot back to center ice. McKenney to Glenny to Hammerstrom. Hammerstrom is checked. McElmurray, number 24, right there. To the fence, a shot by Darryl Sittler. Then Lanny McDonald goes after it. Picked up by Tracy Pratt. Stopped by McKenney. McKenney for Darryl Sittler. Sittler trying to get it to Hammerstrom and is picked off there by Del Party. Del Party gets it over to McElmurray, number 24. McElmurray shoots it over the line into the corner. It's cleared right in front of the net. Wayne Thomas tipped it to the blue line, but not out. McElmurray kept it in to Del Party, right across the goal post, and it goes to Lanny McDonald. Lanny McDonald up the center ice to Sittler. Over the line, Sittler trying to go around McElmurray. Then Hammerstrom is jammed. Trying to hold it against the boards. Hammerstrom trying to get it out, but Andruff, number 14, was able to hold it there for a faceoff.
And they put the big squeeze on Inge Hammerstrom, who scored a goal in each of the Leafs' last 5 games now. Remember, he had only 4 goals after 20 games played, but then scored 7 in the next 9. And it's going to be interesting to see how Brett Kelly solves the problem of what to do with Inge once Errol Thompson is healthy again, which shouldn't be too long now.
12 minutes and 58 seconds remaining in the first period. There's no score in the game. Now we have a fight going on here between Williams and Paymo. Williams and Paymo. Paymo had a headlock on Williams.
Now, Williams has lost his helmet and takes a couple of overhand swings over the back of Payment. Payment comes right back, but the linesmen are there by now. Brett Kelly looking on. The organist plays Hold That Tiger.
With 12 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in the first period.
Tiger Williams of the Leafs and Wolf Payman of the Colorado Rockies off at 7:05.
2 minutes for roughing, 5 minutes for fighting. Toronto penalty to number 22, Dave Williams. 2 minutes for interference, 5 minutes for fighting. The time 7:05.
Each player gets a minor penalty plus a 5-minute major penalty at 7:05.
Up the ice now for Van Boxmeer. Van Boxmeer gets over the blue line, gets away from Trimble, a pass in front, and that just failed to click. Now then, Pat Boutet comes back with Turnbull to center ice. Takes a long shot into the corner. Dan Weir is out there, number 14. Turnbull took his shot, broken up by Edger. Edger gets it ahead to Paul Gardner. Gardner out on the wing to Barry Dean. Dean right in front to Van Boxmeer. He shoots. And he shot wide. Pat Boutet. And Borja Salming after the puck. Slips back to the net, and Jack Balaket gets it in the corner. Balaket ahead to Ian Turnbull. Up at center to Stan Weir. And that goes over the line, and it's cleared out by Barry Dean to Gardner, and Gardner just shoots it back into the Leaf zone. 11:58 remaining in the first period, no score. Borja Salming at center to the Colorado line. Trying to go through. It came right to Plas, and play is called.
Sticks come high again to the left of Michel Plas. Somebody coined a name for the youthful players on the Rockies, the Kitty Corps. And 3 of them out there came very close to scoring on Wayne Thomas moments ago. Perhaps we can see the finish of that play as Gardner broke in. Well, there's Gardner coming over the blue line now, 21, and there's Barry Dean, 19, getting the pass. Nobody near him. Bouncing puck. Just slipped over the blade of his stick there, and he didn't get a very good shot away after all.
Ron Ashby, number 9 at center for the Leafs now, with Bob Neely on the left, Garland on the right, Lenny and McKenney on the defense. Dave Hudson, Chuck Arneson, and Gary Crotto are the forwards for the Colorado Rockies. Comes back to the blue line. A drive by McKinney. Ends up along the boards. Picked off by Arneson. Arneson gets it up to Hudson. Hudson's pass knocked back to him. To Arneson. Arneson gets it over to McElmurray, and play is called, and it was knocked down with a high stick, so play will end right at center ice.
You can see that Bob Neely has returned to wearing a helmet. He discarded it after the third game of this year, but he's got it back on now.
Dave Hudson, number 11 at center. On the right side is Chuck Arneson, number 10. And 18 is Gary Crotto. Puck going down the ice. Lenny's pass around the boards to Neely. It was intercepted, a hard drive, and Wayne Thomas got that off McElmurray. Good shot by young Jim McElmurray. Good save by Thomas.
A lot of fans were hoping that Wayne Thomas would record the shutout the other night to have Gary Unger ruin it in the last minute with his 300th career goal.
Leafs win the draw. Brian Glennie back of the net. Lenny flipping it to the blue line. It's not out. Kept in by Crotto. Crotto's pass banged into the corner by Hudson. Back of the net. Trying to get it out in front. Picked out by Crotto. Crotto gets it back to the blue line to Tracy Pratt. In front of the net. Back it comes Montgomery. And he shot it wide. Bob Neely goes back to cover up. Bob Neely can't get out. The Rockies all around that Leafs goal, and Wayne Thomas comes up and covers.
Well, a lot of players have worn the blue and white uniform of the Leafs over the years. In 25 years, we've interviewed a lot of them, but I don't ever recall interviewing this star player. Oh, I know it's not Borja Salming, even though he's got 21, but he also has all his teeth. I don't remember him. Bill, you must have done that interview.
10 minutes and 41 seconds remaining in the first period. No score in the game. Back it comes. Edger to the shot. That's wide. Goes over to Lanny McDonald. Lanny McDonald up to Hammerstrom. Hammerstrom hooks the puck into the Colorado territory. Picked off by Shane Shanahan. That hit the referee. Now that Hammerstrom intercepted an errant pass for Sittler. He's too well covered by Durbano. Down went Hammerstrom. Hammerstrom is getting up slowly. Got it on the leg. Goes back down the ice. Borja Salming to Darryl Sittler. Up to Lanny McDonald, who ran into Durbano, but Durbano comes up with the puck, shoots it to an open wing. And it's Ian Turnbull just flipping the puck out to center ice. Stopped by Tom Edger. Played the rest of the way in by Shane Shanahan. And Ian Turnbull for Darryl Sittler. That's going all the way down the ice. And you see the goalkeeper had to make a save on it. Steve Durbano. Back of the goal. Being watched by Stan Weir. Now then Durbano shoots the puck down the ice. There's a race for it with Shanahan and Borja Salming. He gets there first, and that's icing.
One of the Colorado officials, I'm not quite sure which one, said he could kiss Sammy Pollock on both cheeks for allowing Sean Shanahan and Ron Andruff, and now, of course, John Van Boxmeer to come to Colorado. There's Dennis DePerry at the bench, 5 goals this year. He spent 4 years with the Leafs, drafted from Toronto by Washington, then traded on to St. Louis and eventually to Kansas City. Had 23 goals a couple of seasons back, was injured last year.
9 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the first period. Rockies shoot the puck down the ice. Number 19, John Van Boxmeer after it. Rennie beat him to it. That's icing again.
And Boxmeer's played well in this early going. Darryl Sittler. You know, you talk about big moments on Hockey Night in Canada. Do you ever recall a bigger individual effort, Bill, in all the years you've been around than Sittler's 10-point night?
No, that was just something else. Jack Belichick with Stan Weir now on the left side with Pat Boutet on the right, because Dave Williams is in the penalty box. Back to Jim McKinney. His shot. Nice save there by Michel Platt.
can catch another look at that. The unusual mask of Michel Glass, the Russian style. Here he is making good save. Showing a good glove here tonight.
Ron Andruff at center ice for the Rockies. D. Del Parte playing on one wing as the puck is cleared out to center ice. Cleared on a backhand into Rocky territory, and it's brought back by number 7, Del Parte. And we see Pratt try to pass. It was broken up. Back for Balaket. Balaket shoots the puck in. Calmary, number 24, goes back for it to Tracy Pratt. Pratt gets it up on the left wing. The Rockies going to center. A quick pass for Van Boxmeer, and that's offside at the Maple Leaf blue line.
Inge Hammerstrom skating well again. He was shaken up there a few moments ago. I mentioned he'd scored a goal in each of the Leafs' last 5 games. That's not counting last night's losing effort in Washington, so that isn't quite accurate. But he now has 11 goals for the year. He's matched his number.
Paul Gardner at center with Barry Dean on the left wing, and now they've moved Chuck Arneson, number 10, up on the right side. Over the line for Ian Turnbull. In for clear. He just missed the open side of the net. Tom Edger into the corner. Up from Mike Kitchen, the center. Quick pass intercepted by Ian Turnbull to Bob Neely. Neely over the line. He's bumped into the boards. Tries to get it loose. He does to Turnbull. Ian Turnbull was checked. There's right in front, and Don Ashby just failed to convert a pass by Bob Neely. Back up for Barry Dean. He's shot right on. Cleared out and down the ice with 7 minutes and 53 seconds remaining in the first period. No score. Gloria Salming. Quick pass to Bob Neely. Neely going down the ice. Trying to go through the defense, and it's offside as Scott Garland came over, but Neely was go. Number 11, Dave Hudson. Dennis Dupere is playing on the right wing. Gary Crotto, number 18, on the left side. A lot of juggling going on because of the 2 7-minute penalties. Ryan Glennie off the boards, out to center ice. McElmurray shoots the puck right back in for Colorado. Then McKinney around on the boards. Inge Hammerstrom, who was hurt, is back out there. Sittler couldn't get away. Now then Hammerstrom moves up at center. Gets it over the line. Dropped it to Darryl Sittler. He took a shot and that went over top of the net. Lanny McDonald took his man out. Puck comes to the blue line. McKinney kept it in, and Hammerstrom couldn't get to it. Dennis Dupere, number 15, flipping it to the blue line. Glennie kept it in again to Sittler. Kelmery shoots it around on the board. Stopped by Lanny McDonald, who drove it back again. Sittler's there in the corner to Glennie. Got by him. Dennis Dupere knocked him down. Darryl Sittler turns. Got it over the line, and it was broken up by Kelmery, and then Brian Glennie drives the puck back in again. Back of the net. Steve Trevano shooting it to Dupere. Dupere just gets it down the ice, and Jim McKinney goes back. No score with 6 minutes and 22 seconds remaining in the first period. Here's Darryl Sittler over the line. Takes a shot. Good save by Michel Glass. Tracy Pratt getting it to Van Boxmeer. Van Boxmeer of Colorado gets it up through center. Intended for Pyatt, and it's knocked back to center right. Van Boxmeer to Tracy Pratt. Pratt gets it ahead. Pyatt takes a long shot. That's the puck into the corner. Goya Solomon. Then to Sittler with Hammerstrom. 2-on-2 going down together. Over the line. Sittler couldn't get a whack at it. Van Boxmeer clearing it. And it's Ron Andruff getting it up and down to the Leaf blue line. Goya Solomon from inside his own blue line over the red line at center.
5:43 to play, scoreless here in the first period. During the first intermission, nostalgia fans will appreciate this. The Montreal early years on Hockey Night in Canada, Toronto early years, and Howie Meeker and Bob Golden will both be here tonight. Don't go away.
Balaket and Boutet back to Salming. Salming back of the net. 5 minutes, 36 seconds to go. First period. Pass ahead to Balaket. Just knocked it out to center. Shot back in offside, and it will be brought out.
We also have a mystery guest tonight. Once again, we ask you to identify them if you can, and we'll be getting to that in just a moment or two. The Rockies have lost only 2 of their last 8 games, including their last start Wednesday at home. Montreal whipped them 8-2.
Jack Belichick to Borja Salming. Salming shot it. There's Pat Boutet taking it up in Colorado territory. He's knocked into the boards. Cleared by Del Parte to the blue line. Del Parte gets it handed back to him. Going up with Angra over the line. Del Parte handles him something by Boutet. He gives it to Borja Salming. Back to Pat Boutet. Back with Belichick over the line. Belichick shoots right off. Trying to get a shot away and just failed. Borja Salming to Boutet. Gets it out front. There's nobody there, and it's cleared to center right. Borja Salming back at his own blue line. Up to the red line at center. In full flight. He goes over the line by himself into the corner. Round back to the center. Salming, and that was right across the goal mouth. Now it's a chance for Colorado. A long pass ahead to Gardner. Gardner trying to get into the clear. And he was stopped by Thomas. Lance Paul. Nice drive by Paul Gardner.
He took a pass at full speed, and it took some great defensive work by Turnbull, who pulled the stick right in and around and hooked him as he went in. Turnbull against Gardner, thwarting Gardner, and Thomas went down to cover it up.
Ashby Neely and Scott Garland on the forward line. Dave Hudson along with Wilf Pamo. Pamo has the puck, number 9, but it went back to center ice. He shot it right to Neely. Neely missed a check from Pamo. Gets it over the line. Bob Neely closes in. Shot it over for Garland, and it was taken by Barry Dean. Now then, Don Ashby gets it again. Ashby trying to center it out front. It's right in front of the net to McKinney. And he blasted it, and it was caught by Michel Plass.
Plass has impressed me with that glove hand of his tonight. 31, Michel Plass. We talked about our mystery guest. Here he is. He'll remember our first telecast of hockey here because he scored the first goal back in 1952. The first goal on television. Who is he? He played with the Leafs for half a dozen years or so. More clues a little later on.
Well, there's that face mask that Brian was talking about, Michel Plass. Gardner got the draw, goes back to the net there. Number 26, Mike Kitchen, is covered by Ashby. Kitchen gets it behind the net again. Number 3, Tom Edger to Gardner. Gardner just shoots the puck out and down the ice, and McKinney goes back with 3:46 to go in the period. And Gardner nearly stole the puck. It's kept in by Colorado. Wilfie Paymoff gets it to Gardner. Gardner centered it. Dean to pass, and Paymoff rolled it wide. Paymoff gets it back to the blue line. Garland failed to cover his man as he kicked it into the corner. Dean takes his shot. He hit the post. Cleared up for Neely. And a hooking penalty to Brian Glennie will mean that the Leafs will be shorthanded. This will be the first time that either team has been shorthanded in this first period, and there's no score. Brian Glennie.
Glennie had the misfortune to knock a puck into his own net last night in Washington. 3-2, close decision. Washington over Toronto.
For Brian Glennie, 2 minutes for hooking. Time
Hooking penalty. You can see it right there on the replay.
Brian Glennie for hooking. Time 16:39.
16:39 the time. Rockies' power play percentage is 14, 12 goals and 93 advantages. 3:21 left to play. First period, no score.
Leafs have Darryl Sittler with Lanny McDonald, Ian Turnbull, and Borja Salming. And as the Leafs play shorthanded, Tracy Pratt shot the puck in. Don Van Boxmeer, number 19, is playing back, and also out there for them, number 18, Gary Crotto, number 11, Dave Hudson. Up they come. Dennis Dupere is 15 to the blue line and over, intercepted by Lanny McDonald. He just shoots it down the ice. Going Going back for it, Tracy Pratt, number 5. Pratt back of the net, leaves it there for number 11, Dave Hudson. Hudson dropped it to Pratt, over to Van Boxmeer. Van Boxmeer at center, flips the puck by Salming. Hudson goes after it, goes back to the net. Danny McDonald trying to take his man out. Van Boxmeer failed his first time, gets another try. There's a hard shot. Thomas stopped that.
That was a hot save by Wayne Thomas. Colorado Rockies enjoying the power play. Tracy Pratt led the rush up there. He's playing well, according to Johnny Wilson. That'll make Babe Pratt very happy wherever he is watching tonight. There's the good stop by Wayne Thomas. Dennis to Perry. Thomas pulls him off.
59 seconds remaining in the penalty as Turnbull back of the net, watched by Paul Gardner. They got their skates on it and play is called.
Turnbull lucky to escape a hooking penalty on that good break-in by Paul Gardner, the sensational rookie with the Colorado Rockies, son of Cal Gardner and brother of Dave Gardner, who plays with Cleveland.
Ryan Glennie looking on as the Rockies have that puck in lead territory. Comes back to the blue line. There's the shot. And that was knocked into the corners. McElmurray let that one go. Picked up by Ian Turnbull, who drove it to the blue line. John Van Boxmeer shoots it right back. Gardner was knocked down by Ian Turnbull. Now then, Belicat shoots the puck down the ice with 28 seconds left in the penalty. Class came out of the net. And there you see John Van Boxmeer, number 19. Lanny McDonald got a piece of him. Number 22, Barry Dean, getting it over for Pamo. Back to Dean. Dean gets it up. And it's flipped by Paul Gardner, and that's going onto the glass. Driven by Belicat to the blue line, but not out. That's why. Lanny McDonald, able to get it out. Boria Salmon. With the puck, no score so far in this first period. Shot around all the way to Brian Glennie at center. Back to Turnbull. Turnbull then to Belicat. Over to Lanny McDonald. He shoots. Right on. They've gone too far by then. Back up to Pamo. Pamo with the party. A long shot. And that goes into the corner. Williams up for Belicat. Number 8, Shanahan down, and the puck goes over to Williams outside at the Leaf blue line.
Keith Dancy came to Hockey Night in Canada in 1959-60 as color commentator in Montreal. Canadians were winning their 5th straight Stanley Cup, and some people say that was the best team ever. What do you think?
Well, it was a pretty good team, Dave, but a lot of water has gone under the bridge since then. The league is much, much larger with so many teams. It's a different game.
The Canadians, of course, had the Rocket and later the Pocket Rocket. You obviously enjoyed your stay.
I enjoyed it very much, Dave, but I must say that I've watched with great interest the progress technically of Hockey Night in Canada. It's an entirely different game. Very interesting now. Tremendous broadcast.
Very happy to have you with us tonight. Now let's get back to the play.
There you see the time to play on the clock, 42 seconds. Cleared by the Rockies over the Leaf line, and Jim McKinney whacked it out to Stan Weir. Stan Weir going down with Williams at center. A pass for Williams. It went off the stick to Glass. Glass covers up.
He lost the puck.
Took a whack at it, and Glass didn't like that at all.
The puck did squirt loose. Now we have them milling around. You know, when Keith Dancy worked in those Montreal telecasts, Bill, he used to do the play-by-play of the first period before the telecast went on the air, and then they would replay some of the highlights during the first intermission. There's Williams moving in on Plast, and you can see the puck squirt just loose off his right pad.
We have 29 seconds remaining now in the first period. There's no score. Stan Weir, Pat Boutet, and Dave Williams. Dennis Duperry, 15 at center now for the Rockies. Here's Williams getting the puck. Then Duperry poked it ahead with his... It goes to Pamo. Pamo gets it out. Jim McKinney spins and shoots it right back in again. Behind the net. Boutet to Stan Weir. He centered it out front. Kelly with a backhand. It's knocked by Pat Boutet, and play is called as Glass covered up. 8 seconds left in the first period.
Pat Boutet, the next goal he scores will tie his output of all last season, 10 goals. He's got 9 now. The Rockies have gone the longest of any of the NHL teams without being shut out.
Stanweir, Williams, and Boutet. 8 seconds. Van Boxmeer and Williams with their sticks up. Colorado wins the draw. Tracy Pratt in the corner with 4 seconds. Up along the boards it comes to Pamo, and he just brings it to the blue line as the bell goes to end the first period. Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, Hockey Night in Canada.
Hello, Canada, and hockey fans of the United States. We're all set now for this second period. There's no score, and Salming cleared the puck over the line. It's grabbed off by Gardner, clearing it on into the corner there as Paymont was unable to get a shot on goal. Here's another chance here on a long try there by Edger, and the goalkeeper, the Leaf goalkeeper, dropped down very quickly on that, even though it didn't seem very dangerous. Face off in the Maple Leaf zone with the Colorado Rockies playing every man up. Paymont is in a nice position. We got the pass, but the Leafs get the draw. Shot on the boards, but not out. Then McDonald races after it with Edger beating him to it, number 3. Going back to the Colorado goal, clearing ahead now to Gardner. Up to center ice. Dean took the shot into the corner. The Leafs covering, though. The checking has been very close so far in this game. They're not getting much leeway. Now Sittler goes across the line, still going. His shot was blocked. Colorado trying to clear it out on the left wing. It's on the boards. It goes into the crowd. And the face-off will be to the left.
There's Borje Salming, who was right in on Michel Plass's doorstep moments ago. Foster, that was a tremendous ovation you got prior to the game tonight when you faced off the puck. I was really proud of you.
Well, Brian, it was a real thrill, I'll tell you that. I had a hard time controlling myself.
So did Bill up here.
It was quite a reaction. From the face-off, the puck goes back to Pratt. 5. And Boxberg cleared it down the ice. No trouble on that one. McKinney was in position, but the pass went to Garland of the Leafs. Ahead now as Ashby tried to get loose. It's at center ice now with Del Party just clearing it over the line. And it's a little ragged at this time. Garland tried to get out. Is twisted all around that time by Andrus. Pass comes in front, is deflected out. The Leafs have a chance here with Neely clearing on the left wing. Ashby was too close in. He goes into the corner, though, centers it out. A roller in front. Kloss knocked it to the side. Glennie takes the shot. It bounded off the leg. Neely gives it to him again, but he wasn't in position. It goes all the way back to Thomas, who's way out of his net, clearing it over to McKinney. McKinney played one off a stick to center ice. The Rockies unable to get any drive on the goal there as Neely picked up a loose puck and shot right down back of the Colorado goal. The Rockies up at center ice. Van Boxberg let a long shot go that time, and Thomas had to do the splits on it. Now Salming rushes at center ice over to Valaket. The shot was deflected to the corner, and most of the shots are being deflected. The puck is still in the Colorado zone. Here's a chance, and Valaket's shot bounced off to the side, off Kloss, who handled it well. Pratt going in is bumped on the boards. The Leafs in clearing shoot it right down the ice. Salming in possession, 21 for the Leafs, clearing ahead. The Valaket to Patet, 15. Over onto the far wing, a roller goes in, very ineffective on the play. Pratt played it off on the left side for Colorado. Salming intercepted, was bumped by Pyatt at the same time. The puck goes loose. Perry went into the corner, couldn't follow through. Arneson failed to get it out. And McElmurray drops his man back to the board, lost it just as quickly. Selming shooting it into the corner and back of the net. Valaket on the other side, number 8. With Patet back to the goal, centering right in front, rolling. And it was Williams that got hold of that puck and lobbed it into the net. He was right in position for that one, and that opens the scoring.
Tiger Williams of the Leafs gets the first goal of the hockey game from a scramble in front of Michel Place. Sliding it into the open corner. We'll see it better perhaps from this angle. Then the players converged on Williams and almost deprived him of his goal-scoring dance.
Number 15, Pat Boutet, and number 8, Jack Valaket. Time 3:30.
3:30 the time. Williams' 11th goal. We see it a little better from this angle.
Williams from Patet and Valaket opens the scoring for the Toronto Maple Leafs. 16:29 remaining in the second period. 1-0 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. McKenny played it over on the far side to Glennie. He lost it. Arneson had his shot. On this left wing, another drive went wide as Quattro had a chance. The Leafs got a break. Hammerstrom down the left side. Cleared in front of McDonald. His shot blocked. Nice save there by Durbano, who fell in front of that shot. Colorado come right back. Durbano again, this time shooting wide when deflected by Glennie. He got his stick around him. Another drive. Quattro shot wide. It's over on that far wing. Murray cleared it around the boards. The Leafs trying to get out. McDonald just flipped it out over the line. It's intercepted by Arneson, who gets it back to his blue line with Durbano making a long clearing pass. The Leafs shoot it down the ice. It's going to be touched that time by Durbano. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Hockey Night in Canada. Gardner going to start for Colorado at center ice. Didn't get the draw. The Leafs get a breakaway with Neely going down to the blue line. Neely shot right at the goalkeeper. A loose puck. Neely gets it again to the right. Neely free. Pass back behind the net. Garland couldn't control it. Trying it again. Hit the side of the net and Kloss is down to cover up around the Colorado goal.
Bob Neely racing all the way down the ice. Clear-cut breakaway, going in, head up on Place, and shoots it right at his midsection. Place did well to get the rebound after stopping that initial drive off the stick of Bob Neely.
Kitchen chased Neely all the way down. Now the puck is loose. It's Ashby trying to get it back to Turnbull. He fired his shot. Garland was right beside the goalkeeper, but Kloss made sure by holding it onto his chest, and the face-off will be to the right of the Rockies' goal.
For any late tuners in, Foster Hewitt has agreed to do the play-by-play of the second period here tonight to help us celebrate our 25th anniversary of hockey on television.
All ready for the face-off, and in this case, it's Andrew for Colorado facing off with Ashby. Selming had a direct shot on the net. Quick pass on the left wing by Delaparty. Goes right down the ice. Selming touches it, and it's going to be called for icing against Colorado.
Foster, we had some memorable quotes over the years on our telecasts. A couple come to mind. Babe Pratt, for example, on a telecast talking about Toe Blake coaching the great Montreal clubs. He said, if I was Blake, I'd just open the gate and say, sick 'em.
Ready for the face-off in the Colorado zone. Valaket is at center, number 8, Botet 15, as puck was shot, but bounded all the way back. A race for it. Del Party going into the corner, was beaten to it by Glennie. It's called on the play as the Leaf player touched the puck first.
One more for you here, Foster. Busher Curry got 3 goals one night in Montreal playing in front of Princess Elizabeth. And when a reporter asked him about the goals afterwards, he said, well, I always play well in front of royalty.
You've got a few good ones there. Ready for the face-off. Valaket facing off with Andruff of Colorado. The puck goes against the boards, knocked back to the blue line, but not out. Glennie had his shot. It was blocked by McElmurray. The Leafs, Valaket taps it right back again. And it's a long shot by Glennie, handled easily. But Check knocks the goalkeeper nearly out of behind the net. Tracy Pratt comes down the left side, cleared a pass in front, and it's grabbed off by Williams. Over to Patet at center ice. Patet going in. Here's the shot. About a foot wide. Slides over on the far wing. Patet covering his check. Andruff. The Leafs in possession momentarily. Valaket on the right boards. Going on into the corner. Trying to cover up. The puck is still loose. It goes to Patet to Williams. Williams tapped it way wider than that. It's recovered by Michael Murray and held there against the boards for a face-off. Hyatt facing off with Sittler of the Maple Leafs in the Colorado zone. Puck is dropped. It goes right back to Durbano over on the far side to Van Boxmeer. It's against the boards and held there with Hammerstrom in on between the pair.
Well, we'll try to catch you up to date on some of the out-of-town scores as we go along. Pittsburgh leading Washington 3-1. Cleveland 4, Boston 1. Dave Gardner has one of the goals there. His brother Paul playing here tonight for Colorado.
DuPerry moves into the face-off circle for Colorado. He was facing off with Sittler after Pyatt was moved out.
Come down that way, Sean. I saw you. I saw you.
Tracy Pratt.
All ready for the face-off. The Leafs playing right up there in the Colorado zone. Salming. Very high shot. Durbano banged it off the board. DuPerry clears it over on that far wing, deflected by Van Boxmeer right into the crowd.
Hockey came to television. There were 224,000 television sets in Canada. The network officially started in September 1952 with Toronto and Montreal.
Pyatt getting ready for the face-off with Sittler. He got the draw. A long shot there by Edger. Nowhere near the net. Colorado trying to get in position, but they're more or less mixed up around the net. Here's Edger getting a shot. The drive was wide. It's centered out in front. DuPerry let one go. A backhand into the corner for Hammerstrom, who starts out now. A three-man rush. McDonald and Sittler on the wings. A shot right on. Made the save there, and Durbano was right in on the mix-up on the boards.
Good rush by Hammerstrom, taken heavily into the boards by Steve Durbano. Detroit 2, Atlanta 1. Harper and Hextall have done the goal-scoring damage for the Red Wings. Simpson for Atlanta.
Hudson is going to be out there now for Colorado, number 11 at center ice. On the wing, Prato on this left side. Puck comes back to the blue line. Glennie shot away wide. Garland played it around to Neely. Neely centered it out in front. It's recovered by Prato. Passed on the right side to Arneson. Here's the shot. And it was caught there beautifully by Wayne Thomas, who speared that one over his head. Face-off will be to the left of the Maple Leaf goal in Maple Leaf territory. 12:44 remaining in the second period. 1-0 for the Maple Leafs.
Hey, there's the former host of Hockey Night in Canada in the crowd, Scott Young.
From the face-off, the puck slides all the way back to the Colorado line. Kitchen now on the defense, 26. Played it over on the far wing with Hudson getting nowhere at center ice. Puck is still loose. Finally, Ashby got his stick and got it over the line. McKinney is rushing in on that left side into the corner, being watched by Arneson, and the pass comes right back to center ice. Here's the good chance here on that left wing. Prato was nearly loose, but he just couldn't reach the pass. Slides around there. Glennie is trying to get that puck out, and the Leafs are a bit sloppy at times around their center and their own zone. A long shot on the left wing, away wide by Prato. This is Hockey Night in Canada. Gardner at center ice for Colorado. Colorado. He's the center ice player. And it's Dean on one wing and Payma on the other. Pratt takes a long shot, number 5 for Colorado. Selme back to the net, squeezed out. Still inside the lead zone. Edger getting a chance. The drive was wide. Pratt couldn't keep it in. Patet trying to come away. And Dean skated him off. But he handed it to Valaket. Pratt going in to cover his check. Puck is still loose, though. And the Rockies get that puck. A long pass. Oh, what a chance here was Dean. Was fairly well in the clear, but he failed to get that long pass. Salmon played it out to center ice. Colorado recover. Edger couldn't get anywhere, but that on the right wing, the two of them fall as they hooked each other. The puck, though, is at center ice, carried out by Dean. Stopped by Williams, given to Selming. Selming at center with Valaket on his left. The shot bounded off Pratt. Goes into the corner. Center right in front. And it's knocked off to the side there by Paul Gardner. The Rockies had a close call there. Now a quick pass on the left wing. A long pass. Turnbull covered his check. Gardner. And the puck goes on the far side. The Rockies getting another chance. Baymont had his shot, deflected to the corner. Williams shot it down the ice. Urbano, number 4, is going back for the Rockies to touch it, and it's going to be called for icing.
Toronto 1, Colorado 0. Goal by Tiger Williams. Remember this from 8 or 9 years ago. Jim McKinney with Herbert Corey, better known as Tiny Tim. Mike Walton in the picture too, escorting Tiny Tim to center ice at the Gardens, where he took a shot on goal and scored. That's McKinney on the right, in case you're wondering.
Andruff is now at center ice for Colorado. Number 14 and 7 is Del Pardo. The Leafs recovers the faceoff. Lenny couldn't get very far. It centered out to Sittler. He missed it. Went for a slide, of course, and the Rockies just shoot it over the line. McKinney fooled his check, gets it over on that left wing. Hammerstrom into the corner, lost the puck by slowing down at the wrong time, and it's shot over on the far wing as Shanahan had his pass intercepted. Sittler goes over the line. He couldn't get anywhere. Del Pardy then cleared it to center ice, and McKinney shoots it right back in again with Urbano going back to the goal. Number 4 for Colorado. Clearing on the far wing. Murray couldn't do much about it. They're still trying to get out. Finally, they cleared out to Del Pardy. Getting it across on the far wing to McElmurray. And it's offside on a clearing pass as Del Pardy was in ahead of the play. With 9:18 remaining in the second period, the score is the Toronto Maple Leafs 1 and the Colorado Rockies no score.
There's the logo of the Colorado Rockies. The sun in the center, the mountains surrounding.
Hyatt at center ice, number 12 for Colorado as Turnbull cleared it to Neely. Neely closes in with Garland on the right. Colorado failed to clear when Salming got it away. Here's a shot. Drive that was. Salming saved the day for the Leafs there by breaking that play up and then getting a good shot away. Back of the net for Edger. He failed to get anywhere. DePerry took a slash at the puck. Neely goes back to the net, is given a jolt for his pains, pitching, hitting it. Puck comes sliding down the ice. Salming going back to get it. Being watched closely by Van Boxmeer. Now it's another try by the Leafs, carrying in on that far side. Ashby got to the line and lost the puck there, where it's jammed against the boards right by the Leaf bench.
Harry at the Colorado bench, shaking off an injury.
I know it is, Scobie.
Coming up on New Year's Day, Saturday, January 1st, Washington at Toronto. No game next Saturday for the first time in memory. Gives the players a chance to enjoy Christmas with their families.
Dave Hudson at center ice now for Colorado, number 11, as the Leafs clear the puck back of the goal. Klaus stopping it there. Halleck centers out. Here's the shot right on by Williams, and the puck goes bouncing against the boards up to center ice for Hudson. Shot it in and back to the Leaf goal. The Leafs trying to cover. Back of the goal, a pass comes out in front. Here's a shot. That was close, as Wayne Thomas just got his toe on that one. Quattro is trying to center it out, number 18. They jam him against the boards so that he couldn't break loose.
Again, Dennis DePerry trying to shake off what appears to be a shoulder hurt at the Colorado bench. They can't afford too many more injuries. The Rockies, they've already lost Henry Boucher with recurring eye problems. Simon Nolé out with a back injury. Colin Campbell out of the lineup. And also Brian Leffler.
A quick shot, they score! Right off the bat, the face-off there. Hudson got the draw, and the shot was by Quattro, I think. We'll wait and see. Right on the edge of this circle.
Chuck Arneson, number 10, drilling that one just inside the goalpost and inside the right pad of Wayne Thomas.
18, Gary Croteau.
No.
Assist,
Croteau
number
gets
11,
credit.
Dave Hudson. Time 12:10.
We'll see if that holds up. Croteau from Hudson the call at 12:10.
Hudson getting the draw, and it was just one quick shot from the rim of the circle. And now it's a tie game, a 1-all tie. Colorado moving in with a pass right in front of the goal. Another close try here as Quattro was right in close. No one was near him. The Leaf defense was just nowhere on that. And in this case, it's Paul Gardner centering off. Salming cleared it down the ice. There's a race for it. Van Boxner is going to get to it first, and it'll be brought back for icing. And the face-off will take place just in the same place. A 1-all tie.
Johnny Wilson behind the bench remembers that Colorado beat the Leafs in their home opener with Doug Favell in goal. Favell was then injured almost immediately after that. He is now ready to resume play and will start against Philadelphia tomorrow night.
From the face-off, the puck goes into the corner. Salming is in front of his net, gets it to Turnbull, gets the return. Salming over on the far wing, broken up by Paymont, who failed to clear it out the first time. Now they shoot it into the crowd, and sticks are a bit high.
Once again, we asked you to try to identify our mystery guest. We mentioned earlier, well, here he is, that he was the player who scored the first goal on television for the Leafs. Here he is today. Played with an Allen Cup winner in 49-50, a Leaf Stanley Cup winner in 50-51, and a Calder Cup championship team in 51-52. Now lives in Stouffville, where he's in the insurance business. Tell you who he is a little later on. May even meet him.
They're doing a little repair work on the ice in front of Wayne Thomas, and there's been a fair amount of traffic around there, and it's a tie game, a 1-all tie, with Colorado tying it up at 12:10 of this second period.
Backup goaltender for the Leafs, Gordon McRae.
From the face-off, Salming gets that puck. Here's the shot, wide of the target, into the corner. Sidler couldn't reach it. Turnbull gets his shot right on. And Boxberg shoots it on the boards and right down the ice. Salming going back, 21. And so it'll be called for icing again. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Waiting for the face-off in the Colorado zone. It's a 1-all tie. Sittler got the draw, lost it just as quickly, though, to Dean. Dean was stopped at center. Hammerstrom playing it over to Salming. Here's Salming in close. What a shot. Hammerstrom found Salming. Salming made that one possible.
Well, that's the Swedish connection. As Salming, with his customary brilliance, gets the puck in over the blue line, an off-balance shot. Here to bounce off the post, Hammerstrom there. Catch it from this angle now. Look at this rush by Salming.
11, Inga Hammerstrom. Assist number 21.
Rebound right to the stick of Hammerstrom, and he wraps it in behind Michel Plas.
Inga Hammerstrom from Borja Salming. Time 13:24.
13:24, the time of Hammerstrom's goal. 2-1 Leafs in front.
Hammerstrom was deadly on that shot. It was just inside the post. Puck goes right back. Edger cleared it over onto the wing. Kitchen trying to get it out. It's a 2-1 game now with the Toronto Maple Leafs leading for the second time. Colorado in possession. A bad pass. In this case, Pyatt, number 12, moving fast. Cleared it off Garland's stick. He's being chased by Shanahan. Neely tipped one out rather niftily to Garland at center. His pass to Ashby failed to register, and Colorado start back with a long pass way offside. Shanahan was way ahead of the play when the pass came from Edger.
Hammerstrom, 5 goals in 6 games, and stay tuned for our second intermission as we celebrate our 25th. This time we'll look at the 60s. We'll meet Frank Selke and Scott Young, and Jim Robson and Bill Good from Vancouver. A couple of the younger fellows with Hockey Night in Canada. Good to have them aboard.
Garland is holding up the face-off, getting his stick repaired with the tape. 5:52 left in the second period, 2-1 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But they're having a tough struggle with Colorado. We're very persistent on their checking. Now again at center right, McKinney gets it over to Ashby. Edger broke up the first rush. Here Colorado come up, but oh, what a bump. It's Pyatt. And the shot from the right side. Shanahan was right inside the goal crease there. It caused a regular traffic jam. But that was a fairly determined rush by the Colorado team.
We have a moment so we can look at it again. As Thomas has been extremely steady in there again tonight. This rush, oh, quite a hit by Glennie at the blue line.
For high sticking.
And he gets a penalty for high sticking on the play.
Brian Glennie for high sticking. Time 14:24.
Glennie is in the penalty box as a result of that collision. He got a stick high.
Well, we'll see this hit by Glennie as he moves out and gets the stick up a little high. We've learned also that the initial injury report on Dennis DePerry indicates a separated left shoulder. Statistician Doug Stone sends that note along.
Pyatt got the worst of that exchange with Glennie, but the Leafs are now a man short, and Salming is holding up the game while he's getting a new stick. Maple Leafs leading 2-1, and Hudson is going to center ice for Colorado.
Foster, while we have a moment, a lot of personalities appeared on Hockey Night in Canada over the years. Some we haven't been able to mention or get in our films. Ted Darling, Fred Scambatti, Mike Anscombe, Ted Kennedy, Dickie Moore, Red Story, Donnie Marshall, Bob Cole from Newfoundland, Al Colley, Red Fisher, Gord Sinclair Jr., Ken McKenzie, and Larry O'Brien.
From the face-off, the Leafs get the draw. Turnbull going into the corner. Donald is ready to help. Hudson squeezed in there for the Rockies, and that ended it right there.
Ray Mirren watching intently, the general manager of the Rockies, formerly with the Leafs organization.
A false start there. Puck went back to McElmurray, the defense player for the Rockies, who's playing up. They have the advantage in manpower. The Leafs. Glennie in the penalty box. Salming tried to take a shot. He bounced one off the player and then falls and covers up. And the play is stopped for a face-off in the same spot. It was Hudson that was on top of him.
Tiny Tim's friend at the bench.
From the face-off, Salming goes into the corner, back to the net. It's stopped. Butto back to the goal, played it to the far side. Now back to the blue line. Ben Boxer let one go, and Wayne Thomas stopped that one, even though it was off the target. this time over to the left of the Leaf goalkeeper.
5:09 to play, second period. We should add the names of Dave Pratt and Ted Reynolds, Vancouverites, to our list of personalities from Hockey Night in Canada.
5:07 left in the second period. 2-1 for the Leafs as the puck goes down the ice. Stopped easily, of course, by Ploss. And Van Boxmeer stands back of the goal, letting Hudson pick it up. Hudson cleared on the right wing. A return rush pass comes over on this side. Jam into the corner. Quattro is getting it back. McElmurray gets his shot. And it's wide. Van Boxmeer on the far side at the blue line. Made it over on this side again to McElmurray. Shot bounded off a leg. The Leafs in trouble. Shoot it down the ice. And Boxmeer, 19, going back to get it. Also helped by McElmurray. They're regrouping again. Gardner on that far wing. Watch him at center ice. A high shot off to the corner. Gardner goes into the corner, centers out in front. A quick shot over the top of the net. It's off to one side. Dean tried to keep it in there. The Leafs Sittler took the pass from McDonald, weaving around, ragging the puck as much as he can. Van Boxmeer stole it from him, goes into the corner and turns and comes up the ice. Four of them coming up at center. They shoot it to the corner. Stopped back of the goal by Thomas. And the Leafs play it out to McDonald on the right wing, too far. Pratt going back to recover for Colorado, clearing into the corner to Dean, who's on his way now. Dean is 22, and Glennie is back on the ice. A long clearing pass by Gardner goes back to the Leafs goal. Here's center right in front of the net. As Thomas went out of the net there, didn't get back in time, and he had a close call. Another shot from the left wing was weak, but on the target. Recovered by Gardner, and Colorado seem to be going in fits and starts. The teams are at full strength. Paymock couldn't get anywhere, but he had it bounce off his leg. Then the Leafs cleared it down the ice, and Edger goes back to get it, number 3. Long clearing pass to Dean. Dean just got rid of it. Thomas wants to go roaming out of that net. It's shot up to the blue line, but not out. Edger gets his shot. Thomas stopped it. A pile up again in front of the Leaf goal, but the Leaf goalkeeper held on.
One young fella doing a great job with St. Louis is Dan Kelly, who used to be with us as host of Hockey Night in Canada.
Hyatt ready for the face-off for Colorado. Number 12. Puck goes loose to the corner. Glennie shot it down the ice. Williams going down there anyway, away behind Durbano, who cleared it around back of the goal. Lynn Batet gets a low shot from well out, and it's taken back to the goal by McElmurray. They're on the move now, coming up on the left side. Shanahan took a shot off the boards. Batet lost it. Hyatt cleared into the far corner. Glennie jams in there to try to cover up. Williams trying to do the same thing. The Rockies get it loose. Go into the opposite corner. Recovered again by Shanahan, who centered it. And the Leafs trying to get that puck out. Valaket went for a tumble in his effort to clear. The Rockies have it right back in the Leaf zone. Glennie plays it out. Teams are at full strength, but you'd think that the Leafs were shorthanded the way the Rockies are moving in now. It's Durbano leaving the ice on a clearing shot there by Shanahan. And the Leafs desperately shoot it down the ice. Glennie getting it away with 1:32 remaining in the second period. 2-1 for the Maple Leafs.
Another look at Tracy Pratt. We mentioned Tracy's dad, Babe, as being a member of our Hockey Night in Canada telecast team. A very popular one, a very humorous one. Tracy very serious about things here tonight. With 1:31 left to play, second period. Toronto in front, 2-1.
Colorado playing every man up, and for the face-off, Dave Hudson, number 11. With the Leafs getting that pass back to Turnbull. Turnbull going slowly. Ashby with him on the left. He just shot it into the corner. Ashby's after it, number 9 for the Leafs. He centered it out in front, and Arneson shot it on the boards. Comes up at center. Hudson's going to be with him. A shot right on. Good save there by Thomas. And it was a good try by the Rockies. The Leafs just shoot it down the ice. 1 minute left in the second period. 2-1 for the Leafs. Here's a chance for the Leafs going right in on goal. Right in. Oh, what a chance there as Garland just failed to draw the goalkeeper out. Ashby did the same thing but was covered by Tracy Pratt, and he didn't have the leeway on that chance.
Well, I'm just thrilled, Foster. I hear the Garden switchboard has been lighting up with calls from Labrador, as far away as Labrador and the other end of the country. Everybody, it appears, wants to congratulate us for our 25th anniversary, and you in particular for all the things that you've contributed to hockey over the years.
Well, Brian, it's been a great thrill, and I've met so many wonderful people in doing these broadcasts over the years. I tell you, it's well worthwhile. From the face-off, the puck comes back, and a long shot by Salming was over the top of the net. On that left wing, a quick move there by D. As Gardner failed to get a drive. Puck at center ice. Colorado again coming in on the left side. Paymon still has that puck, getting his shot right on. It bounded over the side. Edger let desperation tried to shoot it away and couldn't. It's still in there. The Leafs finally play it out on the whiteboard. McDonald just didn't get up in time. He gives it to Sittler on the second try, and it's knocked all the way back to center ice where Salming gets on the far side to Turnbull. With 1 second, the puck goes back to the goal, and it's a 2-1 game at the end of the second period.
Way in this final period, and we have a face-off automatically at the Leaf blue line at center ice for the Colorado Rockies. Number 21 is Paul Gardner. Ellie Dean, number 22 on the left side. Wolfie Paymont, number 9 on the right side. And the Leafs have Sittler with Hammerstrom and Riney McDonald. A pass over to Hammerstrom over the blue line. A shot right on. And here comes back in front to Hammerstrom again. He took a backhand. Sittler trying to wrap in the rebound. And it's brought back to center ice. Paymont getting it out there. And Hammerstrom turns. Back to goes to Boreas Salming. Salming up the internal. Went over his stick and slides back into the Colorado Rockies territory. There's no icing on the call. Tom Edger, number 3, shoots it around on the boards. Picked up by Paymont, number 9, for Paul Gardner. Intercepted by Ian Turnbull to Lanny McDonald. Paymont brings it back over the line. Paymont closing in, and he goes back to the net, trying to center it. Wayne Thomas got a piece of it. It's back to Edger. Edger gets a shot. Stop. Another try. Paymont, another try.
Be a tie hockey game. Paymont all around Wayne Thomas, circled the net once, then fed it back to the point. He's an excellent hockey player. These 3 youngsters out there really impressive. All 3 first-round draft choices. There's Thomas finally stopping play. Here's another shot. Close call there. Thomas very active tonight.
On the face-off, down goes Scott Garland. Puck goes to number 10. Chuck Arneson. Arneson shoots the puck in, and it's back to the net for Brian Glennie. Glennie starts out, coming up with Bob Neely, and a pass for Don Ashby. It goes to Glennie. Glennie up for Ashby, and it goes into the corner in back of the net. Picked up there by the Van Baxmer. Baxmer gets it back to Tracy Pratt, and Tracy Pratt goes in back of the net. Tracy Pratt for the Rockies gets it up on the left wing. Down comes Colorado to center. 3 of them up over the line for Chuck Arneson. He was hit hard by Brian Glennie. Glennie went down with him. And it's Bob Neely coming back. Bob Neely to the blue line up at center. He's checked. The puck goes sliding in back of the net. Very fast in this final period. Bob Neely centered it out in front. Tracy Pratt has it. He shot the puck down the ice for Gary Prado, and it goes into the corner. Came out to Brian Glennie, and that is called for icing.
Well, the life of a referee is never easy. Look at Garland upset here. Should there have been a penalty on that? What do you think? Or on that? As Arneson went flying over Glennie.
17 minutes and 49 seconds remaining in the game. Toronto 2, Colorado 1. Boreas Salming, a shot right on. A nice save by Michel Plas. And he's been very active with that left hand of his.
Johnny Wilson be happy to get Doug Favell back in action, putting him in tough tomorrow night against Philadelphia.
Nelson Pyatt, number 12 at center for Colorado, cleared around on the boards. Ron Andruff, here's Malaket to Boutet, and another great save with that left hand. But that shot was a little high, Brian.
Bill, I know you've been coming up here a lot of years, but before television, you remember your very first trip up here to do a broadcast on Young Canada Night?
Yes, I do, and it was on the old catwalk, which is way above us, and we had a wooden ladder, and I was taken down the wooden ladder with a rope around me, and they just swing right into the...
Around your waist, I hope.
That's right, around the waist. To swing right into the gondola. We didn't have very many visitors in those days.
No, in fact, a lot of people just refused the opportunity to come up here in those days.
Puck was cleared back in the net into the corner. Pamo, number 9. He's jammed there with Williams. It goes loose. Malaket getting it to. And Ian Turnbull's drive from Class covers up on that shot.
When Helen Hutchison interviewed Ward Cornell, he told her that he almost didn't show up for the audition that won him the job on Hockey Night in Canada. He didn't think he'd have a chance of ever becoming part of the telecast team. His sport at the time was football more than hockey.
Nelson Pyatt, number 12 at center. Number 14, Ron Andruff playing on the right wing. Here's back to Turnbull again. A shot. Class has got it with that left hand. Malaket, Williams, and Boutet.
Catch it on the replay here. The shot by Turnbull. He can wing him from that position. You know, a fellow we should mention too is Ronnie Andrews, who's been such an integral part of the telecasts over the years, supplying some pertinent factual information along the way.
Number 1 statistician. Puck goes into the corner, back of the net. Mike Kitchen, and he shot it into the crowd, and the Leafs now are starting to forecheck like they usually do, and when they do that, they get opportunities.
Merry Christmas to you too. Red Kelly deserves a word here. He may just have the best team he's ever coached in this young Leaf aggregation, and I think he's doing a fine job with them.
Well, he thinks he has. If he can get Harold Thompson, Palmatier, Kurt Walker, and George Ferguson back, that's quite a lot of hockey talent. The puck goes wide of the Rockies net. It's cleared around on the boards by Kitchen, but not out. Now it's finally knocked out and down the ice. Ryan Glennie chopped it back to center. Grotto, number 18, nearly getting loose, but intercepted by Jim McKenney, number 18. McKenney straight down the ice at center. McKenney over the line. McKenney for Sittler. McKenney to the backhand. Another shot. And it's right on the goal line. The red light goes on. We'll wait and see. That's delayed. Where is the puck?
Well, I couldn't see it, so I'm not even going to guess. Eddie Metham. Eddie Metham is the goal judge at the north end tonight. Now, because of the technical advances in Hockey Night in Canada, I'm sure we're going to get a couple of good looks at it here as McKenney tried to shovel it under the pads of Michel Plas. The question is, did it go all the way over the goal line?
Well, it depend from if we get it on the other side, where we see that Kitchen. What does Kitchen do? There it. Well, let's go a little further. Yep, it may have gone over.
Well, I don't know.
It did.
I don't know. Yes, I guess so. They're calling it out to center ice. McKenney gets credit.
Assist number 27, Darryl Sittler. The time 3:11. Jim McKenney from Darryl Sittler. Time 3:11.
3:11 is the time of McKenney's goal from Sittler to give the Leafs a 3-1 lead over the Colorado Rockies in this final period. Lanny McDonald is too well covered by Tracy Pratt there at the boards in front of the bench. Billy Dean gets it though. Here it's over for Gardner. A beautiful play by Paul Gardner. He whipped one, but it was high on a deflection over the glass.
So McKenney's goal stands up. It's 3-1 Toronto from Sittler. There's Paul Gardner. McKenney was injured last year. He told a reporter, what with Bobby Orr and I both out of the lineup with injuries, it's been a tough year on the hockey fans.
Tracy Pratt lands on his shot. There's McKenney in the corner. McKenney takes a look to Lanny McDonald. Ahead for Darryl Sittler. He's in the clear. Going in. Past the Hammerstone. Sittler, and he just didn't get enough wood on the puck. Goes back in. Wayne Thomas fell by himself. Jim McKinney for Darryl Sittler, and he missed him, and it's going all the way down the ice. That'll be icing as soon as Pratt touches it.
Oh, happy fans here tonight.
Well, let's wish them all a Merry Christmas again.
Okay.
Won't be long. Up the ice for Ian Turnbull, the center. Puck is high, batted with his glove, knocking Ron Andruff down. Puck cleared by Shanahan out to center ice, and it's Boyan Salming bringing it back. Now he goes back to center ice, skating back to his own blue line. Now he's going to bring it up. He gets over the red line, shoots it in. Glass leaves it there. Cleared around on the boards by Steve Urbano, intercepted by Boyan Salming, and also to Ashby. Ashby backhand. Bob Neely trying to center it. Ashby's there again. Back to Boyan Salming. Salming is knocked down by Shanahan. It's behind the net. Round on the boards. Struck by Turnbull. A hard shot. Down went Garland. Back of the net for Andruff, Ronnie Andruff, and he gets it up for Colorado to the blue line. McElmurray couldn't get anywhere. Now McElmurray gets it again. McElmurray, number 24, flipping it to the blue line. Bobby Neely stopped it, but he was outside the blue line and knocked it in, and two teammates were trapped.
A lot of memories this night. We saw Ronnie Ellis singing and playing during the intermission. That was a long time ago. He's a much better performer now than he was then. On the scoreboard, Cleveland leading Boston 5-2. Detroit 6, Atlanta 3. That's a final.
Valaket steering the puck into the corner to Tiger Williams. Williams goes against the boards with Kitchen. Now Valaket has it behind the net, coming out in front, and his pass was blocked, and the Rockies bring it out to center. Long pass for Crotto off the boards. Crotto's got it. Crotto took a backhand. That was high. Valaket traps the puck, shoots it around to the opposite side to Pat Boutet. Pat Boutet lost the puck. Here's a chance, a shot. That was wide off the stick of Chuck Arneson. Another shot, and Wayne Thomas had that one deflect off his shoulder, and he just caught it.
Bill, you remember when they put the television lights in Maple Leaf Gardens, and everybody said, boy, they're bright. In fact, Kent Douglas of the Leafs took some black markings under the eyes, and do you remember when Terry Sawchuk came to the bench wearing sunglasses one night?
I think also that was the night that Eddie Shack discovered left wing.
It was too dark before that.
The puck goes back of the Leaf net into the corner to Jim McKinney along the boards. Pat Boutet goes down. Here's a shot by Arneson, and that goes over top of the glass. A lot of high shots from well out, and most of them have been deflections, but there have been numerous occasions when blue line shots are going awfully high, and a lot of forwards are not too anxious to get in front of the net anymore.
Here's one guy get in front of anything. Brian Glennie.
There's young Paul Gardner, just out of junior hockey. Number 21 at center with Wilf Pamo on the right side, Bill Dean on the left. Hammerstrom, Lanny McDonald, and Darryl Sittler for the Maple Leafs. Tracy Pratt stopped by Hammerstrom. Hammerstrom rolled it in front. Lanny McDonald hooked it loose. It goes for Ian Turnbull, deflects, and here's a 2-on-1 break. Dean going down with Pamo. One man back. Dean going in, takes the shot. Another try, and that was stopped by Thomas. And it's cleared by Boyan Salming up to Lanny McDonald to Darryl Sittler. Sittler over the line to Lanny McDonald. Lanny McDonald coming in front, pass it, Hammerstrom scores!
4-1 Leafs as Darryl Sittler sets up 2 consecutive goals, one by McKinney and a second goal by Inge Hammerstrom. His second of the game, his 13th of the year. Here it is. Glass cannot get over in time to stop that rising shot off the stick of Inge Hammerstrom. He has really been hot the last couple of weeks. 2 goals here tonight.
Goal scored by number 11, Inge Hammerstrom. Assist.
See how
number
much
7,
room he had
Randy
here after
McDonald.
taking the pass.
Number
Notice he
27,
just stopped it
Daryl Sittler.
momentarily with his stick and then
Time,
snapped it into
6:45.
that corner before Plass
Inga
got over.
Hammerstrom from Lanny McDonald and Daryl Sittler. Time 6:45.
Toronto 4 as Lanny McDonald comes over the line. Pass to Sittler. Colorado 1. 13:04 remaining in the game. Lanny McDonald, Ian Turnbull. Puck brought out to center ice by Ron Andrup, and he couldn't get anywhere. At least playing their two forwards way up near the Colorado blue line. Over the line it goes, and it's McElmurray getting it back to Steve Durbano. Durbano's pass goes down the ice. Wayne Thomas shooting it around to Inga Hammerstrom. He cleared it. McElmurray kept it in. Here it's right in front. A shot. It's right in front of that again. And Ian Turnbull fell in front of it. Now Lanny McDonald goes back. A pass from Daryl Sittler. Broken up by Durbano. Durbano gets it up to center ice to Shanahan. Shanahan gets it over the line, intercepted by Bob Neely. Bob Neely passes to Glenny. Up to Borja Salming. Salming in for Sittler. And Sittler just failed to put it in the short side. Colorado coming back. McElmurray, number 24, gets it over to number 12, Nelson Pyatt. Checked by Borja Salming and Bob Neely. Now then Lanny McDonald to Daryl Sittler. Sittler going to the boards, trying to get the puck loose. It comes to McKinney, a shot right on. Daryl Sittler went after it. McKinney had it hop over his stick, and back comes Otto into the corner. The puck goes to Scotty Garland. Ahead to Brian Glenny. Glenny, a pass over for Don Ashby. Ashby's over the line. He tried to feed it to Bob Neely. Jim McKinney keeping the puck in. There's his shot right on. A good save there by Michel Plass. Back up the ice for Arneson. Arneson missed a check from Glenny. Then he's hooked by McKinney. And there's a penalty to the Maple Leafs. This is Hockey Night in Canada.
At 8:58, here's our director, Ronnie Harrison, in the truck directing this show tonight.
All right. Cue. Ready? Take the sign down, take the sign of the truck up. Okay, give me a count on. Give me a countdown, Ed.
4.
Ready, Chiron? Chiron. Ready to lose Chiron? Keep the sound BG. Lose Chiron, pull the play out. That's it. That's good stuff. Keep the split up. Keep the split up. A little more programs on just a little bit more.
Now he starts out, clears it over onto the left side.
Good.
Prado coming to center ice, number 18, takes a long shot, and that's tipped into the corner. The puck goes to Borja Salming. Salming lifts a backhand out to center ice. And it's John Van Boxmeer.
Lose Chiron.
Colorado put the puck right back in again. Dave Hudson going after it. They jam against the boards. Bob Neely there. And Neely kicks it. So does Salming, but they hold it long enough for a face-off.
Well, Bill, we wanted to give the viewers at home a Hockey Night in Canada first tonight, and that was it, watching Ronnie Harrison and his crew inside the mobile unit on one part of your screen and the action on the upper half of the screen. There's Audrey Phillips in there and John Spaulding down at the far end. It takes great many people to make this show what it is.
The puck rolls out to center ice, and Bob nearly got away. Gildine with Paul Gardner and Wilf Kamo, a long shot. That was a good save by Wayne Thomas on a long, hard shot. Van Boxmeer a shot. Wayne Thomas got that one on the short side. And Boxmeer again with it for Colorado. Into the corner to Dean. Dean centered it right in front. And Van Boxmeer slashed at Wayne Thomas's stick. Slashing penalty to John Van Boxmeer, number 19, for slashing Wayne Thomas. With 9 minutes and 56 seconds remaining in the third period.
Wayne Thomas doesn't get upset too often, but when players come into his crease, he doesn't want any traffic in there. And both Van Boxmeer and Thomas were called for slashing at 10:04.
Served by number 3, Bob Neely.
Neely goes to the bench to serve the penalty for Wayne Thomas.
Now that means that the Leafs will play 2 men short and the Colorado Rockies 1. McKinney has 54 seconds left in his penalty. Paul Gardner remains out there with Wolf Pamo, along with number 3 Tom Edger and number 24 Jim McElmurray. McElmurray takes a shot. Oh, he hit the post. That was right off the post, right along the ice. Another shot, and Wayne Thomas stopped that. Pamo gets it back again to Edger. Edger gets it into the corner to Pamo. Pamo. Back to Edger, over to McElmurray. McElmurray right in front of Wayne Thomas. Picked that one out. Now it's Pamo. Gets it back to the blue line again. A shot. That's stopped by Boreas Salmon. There's another shot. Salmon fell in front of that one. McElmurray gets it over to Pamo. There's his shot. He's outside of the net. Now then Ian Turnbull and Boreas Salmon trying to get that puck out of there, and they hold it for a face-off. 5 seconds left in McKinney's penalty.
No, I think that Salmon can play goal. He gives Thomas a lot of protection out there. 9:07 left to play. Toronto 4, Colorado 1. With 2 points tonight, Darryl Sittler's only 1 point behind Montreal's Steve Shutt. What a year Shutt is having in the NHL scoring race with 45 points. Lafleur, of course, on top in scoring with 52. Then Dion 48, Gilbert 47, and Shutt 46.
McElmurray keeps the puck in. Here's a chance for Edger. Shot! They score! Finally knocked into the net just as McKinney got back out on the ice.
It was Edger who took the shot from the point, and then a
Dave
rebound
Hudson was
by,
the one I think that got the last
I
whack.
think you're right, number 11, Dave Hudson, coming right into your screen there. Just found a short rebound off the shot by number 3, Edger. Thomas had his pads open just a fraction.
Colorado goal scored by number 11, Dave Hudson. Assist number 3, Tom Edger. And number 10, Chuck Arneson.
Arneson also got an assist. Again, from this angle, note the pads of Thomas just open an inch or two, and Hudson popped it between.
11:02 is the time. Prado got the puck. Glenny stepped into his check. It's back in. Prado's pass intercepted by Jim McKinney. Over for Stan Weir. Teams are even now. 5 aside. A pass to Williams. Williams closing right in. And he just pulled it. That couldn't get his backhand away. Now then Weir with a shot. He throws one wide. Williams came down with his stick. There's going to be a penalty there. When play is called, Williams brought his stick down. Cleared in. Thomas. And play is called. Slashing on Dave Williams of the Leafs.
Just trying to add up Williams' penalty totals here. 9 minutes tonight. If that's accurate, that'll give him 170 minutes for the season. That's far ahead of any other player.
Leafs are short-handed again. 5 men to 4. Lenny covered his man as McKinney comes down the ice at center. Gets over the blue line. Still has the puck. And around back of the net into the corner. Passed it back for Sittler, and it's grabbed by Michel Plasse, and a nice play by Jim McKinney, who's been very steady tonight. Jim McKinney playing one of his best games as a Maple Leaf this season.
Got an unusual goal, poking it through the pads of Michel Plasse and just barely over the goal line. That put the Leafs in front 3-1. Then Hammerstrom made it 4-1. Hudson has come back. It's a 4-2 game with 8:01 left to play.
Colorado in possession. Steve Durbano. Up it comes to Wolf Pamo. On the ice comes Bob Neely, and also out of there is John Van Boxmeer. Pamo Trying to roll it in front. McKinney ahead to Darryl Sittler with Bob Neely, and the pass goes too far for him. McElmurray back for it to Durbano. Durbano hit a skate. It bounces back. Ian Turnbull just got back in time to tip it, and it goes up into the crowd.
We were talking about some famous quotes uttered on the telecast in the years. I was thinking a moment ago about Punch Imlach back in '67 saying Montreal will never beat us with a Junior B goaltender in the nets, referring to Rogie Vachon. Vachon then stoned the Leafs the next night, but eventually Toronto did win the cup that year during Expo season.
Lanny McDonald shooting the puck into the corner in Leaf territory. It's drilled by Ian Turnbull all the way down the ice and going back for it. McElmurray as he goes back in the Colorado net. 7 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in the game. Toronto leading Colorado 4-2. Williams has 48 seconds left in his penalty. Over the line. For Colorado, it's trying to get it out in front, and it rolls to the blue line. It's kept in. McElmurray to Van Boxmeer. Van Boxmeer a shot. How to stop that? Belichick to Lanny McDonald. McDonald was checked by Van Boxmeer. McElmurray giving it to Chuck Arneson. Arneson over the line. Trying to go around Lanny McDonald. Lanny McDonald checked him and shot the puck down the ice. 17 seconds remaining in the penalty. 6:31 remaining in the game. Back to that Colorado net. McElmurray leaves it there and coming straight down the ice. Nelson Pyatt. And it blew at center ice. Lanny McDonald was taken out of the play. So is Glennie. There's a shot. Oh, Thomas made a great save, and that one rolled dangerously close to the left goal post.
Right, yeah, right across the line almost. Jim McElmurray. And look at how close this one came. Matter of inches away from the goal line. Toronto fans rooting for Wayne Thomas in his effort to come back strongly after Mike Palmateer was injured.
Puck ends up on Brian Glennie's stick. It goes to Pat Boutet. Williams is back on the ice. They shoot it into the Leaf zone. Cleared by Glennie out again. Goes over on the far wing. Shanahan. And McKinney feeds it to Pat Boutet. Pat Boutet takes his shot. Look out. That's up into the red seats. And I don't think anybody got hurt. I hope not.
Well, I'm sure we've overlooked a lot of people who've been associated with our telecasts in the 25-year period. Fellows like George Bretzlaff, who directed for so many years, Ted Huff, the head man of the organization, and so many others. Ralph Mellenby, executive producer. Bobby Gordon here in Toronto does the shows out of the Gardens. Play underway again.
Now it's Colorado. Pass to center ice. McKinney shot it back to Williams. Williams shot the puck into the corner. Back to the net. And Weir missed his check. Hit the board. So then McKinney took out his check. Now it's over the line. Coming in number 12. Nelson Pyatt. Pyatt centered it. It was tipped by the Leafs back to center ice. 5 minutes, 23 seconds left. John Van Boxmeer getting it up, and it goes to McKinney. Jim McKinney just shoots it to the blue line. It was out and in again, offside. Toronto 4, Colorado 2.
Well, it's time to take another look at our mystery guest. Here he is in the studio. He scored the first goal on television here at the Gardens. Bobby Hazard, the name. Let's go down and meet him with Dave. That's because he got into that business.
Don Ashby at center ice. Garland on the right wing. Neely on the left. Gardner, Paymal, and Del Party now for the Colorado Rockies. That shot came dangerously near the net. Paymal's trying to center it. He did. A shot. Thomas kicked that one out. Don Ashby ahead to Scott Garland. One man back. Garland trying to get around. He's flat. Puck goes back to Turnbull. Turnbull shoots one. A rebound. Ashby and Neely.
Garland in the crease. Neely takes a swat at it. Where's the puck? Somebody hit it with a skate. Was it a Colorado player or was it Neely?
Into the net.
Kicked into the net. They ruled by Bob Neely. No goal.
Count remains Toronto 4, Colorado 2. 4 minutes, 43 seconds remaining in the game. Faceoff will come outside the Colorado blue line. Paul Gardner with Del Parte on the left side and Wolf Pamo on the right. Del Parte knocks the puck down, gets it over to McElmurray. McElmurray's pass. Del Parte gets in on the left wing, tried to pass it in front for Gardner. That just failed to click. Garland up to Ian Turnbull. Turnbull can't get by center ice. Del Parte is covered. Scott Garland hooks the backhand into the Colorado territory. Brought back. McElmurray gets it up to Pamo. Pamo over the line. Glennie gets it to Don Ashby. Ashby over the line. Skated off by McElmurray. Cleared by Durbano. Jim McKenney. He traps the puck and shoots it right back in. Wide of the net. Right up by Steve Durbano to his own blue line up at center. Puck. He's stopped by Pamo. Pamo trying to get it out in front. Goes to Crotto. Crotto to Pamo. Pamo shoved off the puck by McKenney. Jim McKenney is knocked down. Gardner gets it back to John Van Boxmeer. He shot it wide of the net. And Wayne Thomas is going to come out and cover up.
That goes for the technicians too.
Ryan Glennie bringing the puck out. A pass to Sittler. Sittler shot it way behind Hammerstrom. Van Boxmeer covered by Hammerstrom. Sittler couldn't get away from Arneson. They're over the line. Colorado trying to work the puck in front. Tracy Pratt is shot, and Wayne Thomas kicked that one out. Now it's Inga Hammerstrom again to Jim McKenney. McKenney up at center. He comes to the line, gets it for Lanny McDonald for Hammerstrom. Shot out, Jim McKenney. Off the boards, Lanny McDonald shoots it around back of the net, 4-2 with 2:42 remaining in the game. Colorado. Number 10, Chuck Arneson. Takes a long shot. Wayne Thomas. Up to Darryl Sittler. Sittler to Hammerstrom. Hammerstrom to Lanny McDonald. Back to Boria Salming, back to right in front. Sittler took a shot. And Lanny McDonald, Boria Salming, Hammerstrom, and Sittler worked that puck right into the goal crease.
Teams have opened up in this third period. Of course, when they got behind 3-1, the Colorado Rockies had to open it up a bit. Up till then, they played a rather tight checking game. And with 2:19 to play, Toronto in front 4-2, and not too many moments left. Just wanted to say we hope you've enjoyed our 25th anniversary show. We hope we haven't puffed out our chests too much, but it's been fun for us.
2 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in the game. The puck to Stan Weir. He tried to get it back to Pat Boutette. McElmurray gets it out the center. Ian Turnbull cleared it back. Mike Kitchen to Jim McElmurray, and he shoots it down the ice. Going back for it is Ian Turnbull. He takes his time, touches it, and it's called for icing.
Bill, do you remember when we had our own team and played the Leafs in an exhibition game, even beat them 1-0? There's Jack Dennett, who was a bulwark on defense. Ward Cornell, what a defensive combo they were. Bobby Gordon, our goaltender, now head man of our Toronto telecast. Who's that guy on the end? Anyway, where's Bill? There he is. On the right, along with Morley Kells, who was with us for quite some time.
We had a lot of speed going one way.
With the help of a fast camera, we won 1-0, and we rigged it.
Dan Weir in the corner. The puck comes to the head rim of the circle. Pat Boutette to Dave Williams. Weir was knocked down by Kitchen. Number 26, Mike Kitchen, getting it over. It's cleared out to center ice. 1 minute and 38 seconds to go. Boria Salming to Dave Williams. Dave Williams. The Leafs leading 4-2 for Stan Weir. That didn't work. Gloria Salming goes back to his own blue line. Gloria Salming. A long pass for Stan Weir. Stan Weir giving a bump. Pat Boutet has the puck. Rolled it right in front. Sherman trying to get a shot. And it goes out to number 22. Very deep. Long shot. And that was stopped. And it goes back to the net for Tiger Williams. Out to the blue line. It goes back into the corner. Now then Williams. Unable to get out. 57 seconds. They go to the boards. And it's called.
You saw Richard Martin, a very young-looking Richard Martin, during the intermission as a junior. Now he scored for Buffalo. They have defeated the Islanders 4-2. That's a final. Stanfield, Savard, and Martin for the Sabres. Trottier for the Islanders. We don't have the other New York Islander goal scorer at the moment. Boston taking it on the chin. Cleveland over Boston 6-4 now.
Ashby out there with Neely and Scott Garland. A shot from the blue line. Wayne Thomas stopped that. It's back of the net. Dollar McKinney straight down the ice. Jim McKinney up at center. Over the line. McKinney leaves it there. Garland took a shot. Tried another one. Neely hit the post. And he waited just a shade too long. Puck goes back out to center ice. Don Ashby has it. Ashby to Scott Garland. Back for Ashby. Ashby moves up to the Colorado blue line. And Bob Neely again. Took his shot. And Michel Plask hung on to that for a faceoff.
Oh, Neely's going to be thinking about that one for an hour or two after the game. He scored last night against Washington as the Leafs lost 3-2. Now look at this. He says, oh boy, I've got one here. Off the post or off the stick and stayed out. New Year's Day, don't forget, Washington plays the Leafs.
Brian Clenny with a backhand. Scott Garland tried to. Now then Durbano and Scott Garland up their sticks up.
Durbano. Oh, Garland waved his stick dangerously close to the face of Durbano after Durbano had dropped his hockey stick. A lot of high sticking. Garland wants to get right to push his way past the officials and get at Durbano. We've only got 7 seconds left to play. And Garland giving that linesman quite a rough ride there. He could be in trouble over this. Bob Hodges, the linesman. Garland apparently is cut. Oh, look at the cut now on Garland. I didn't see that earlier. Durbano must have caught Garland with his high stick. He was waving it around like a wand there when this all started. And Garland was his particular target. Garland, incensed, has cooled off now. And he has suffered a cut on the nose. You can tell that Hodges had quite a job just from his appearance restraining the two. 7 seconds to play. Toronto 4, Colorado 2. A sudden eruption here with time running out in the third period. Now we're ready to see how that began. Watch Garland try to wedge his way in front of Durbano. The stick's coming up. Garland's stick caught Durbano across the neck. That's where he hit Garland with his stick. Again, look at it. You'll get a better look at it from here. Garland's stick hit Durbano across the side of the head or the helmet, and Durbano came right back. Don't like to see that stick swinging. The doctors made a survey, Dr. Hastings of the Leafs and of hockey injuries, and found that in a great majority of cases, the stick did the damage. Wilson on your left, Red Kelly on the right.
Or Steve Durbano. 2 minutes for high sticking and 5 minutes for spearing. Toronto penalty to number 25, Scott Garland. 5 minutes for spearing and a 10-minute misconduct. The time 19:53.
19:53. Durbano gets 2 and 5, the 5 for spearing. Garland gets 5 for spearing and a 10-minute misconduct.
I think we might also mention, Brian, while we still have 7 seconds and they're getting ready for the face-off, that one of the rare Saturdays, it's Christmas Day, there'll be no hockey game, and I think at this time you and I personally should wish all the entire crew a very Merry Christmas.
Well, I'll certainly echo that, Bill. I hope it's a festive season for everybody, particularly the fans of this great game.
Toronto Maple Leafs leading the Colorado Rockies 4-2. Well, I think they've got the...
Taking a long time to play the final few seconds here tonight. Now it's John Van Box
They're
here.
going to...
Deliberately delaying the game.
Delay of game penalty for the Leafs.
Well, they had the advantage and now they haven't.
We had a delay of game penalty a week ago here with less than 2 minutes remaining. You know, in amateur hockey rules, there's a penalty shot taken on certain delay of game penalties, but of course that does not apply in the NHL rules.
Well, that brought a barrage of debris back out onto the ice again, which will mean a further delay. Delay of game penalty at 19:53, and McKinney is serving it.
A few dozen popcorn boxes out there. Speaks well for the programs, you know. If they don't throw programs on the ice anymore, it must mean they enjoy reading them, want to keep them. 50 cents.
From the face-off, Pimo with Gardner, a long shot. Wayne Thomas has that, and he flips it up into the crowd as the Leafs have defeated the Colorado Rockies by a score of 4-2. Ladies and gentlemen, here are tonight's Molson Cup 3 stars as selected by Hockey Night in Canada. The first star, Inga Hammerstrom. The second star, Wayne Thomas. And the third star, Dave Hudson.